Cool. Jay Wilson, I was at Marshall High School in the fall. 4 years prior to that, I was at a couple JUCOs and D2s, and been in the secondary the majority of my career, and been fortunate to coach corners this last year, so that's what we're going to talk about today. Let's see. Number one, I think this is important and it gets overlooked all the time. Kids have been kids for over 2,000 years, right? So I'm not going to read this to you, but Socrates in 469 BC was talking about the same problems that coaches have now, that adults have now, right? Children now love luxury, they have bad manners, contempt for authority, show disrespect for elders, etc. Okay, so my point in saying that is, if your kids are entitled, fix it. Take the entitlement away, okay? They don't entitle themselves. Adults entitle them, okay? So if you have that problem, and we had a little bit of that problem in my room at the beginning of the year, take that away, make sure they earn everything they get, do it the right way, and do it with positivity, but know that kids have been kids for 2,000 years. What I believe in, especially at the DB position, you got to be a mental warrior. Okay, you could lock up 99 out of 100 times, and people are only going to remember that one. They're only going to remember that catch. They're only going to remember that touchdown. Okay, so you got to be able to bounce back from that, and you got to know that that's the kind of standard, that's the kind of pressure you're going to have as a corner. We want to make quarterbacks be really good every single time. And my point in saying that is oftentimes we're the smaller guy. Most of the time we're probably even speed. Okay, but it takes two to complete a pass. It takes a quarterback and a receiver. So make that quarterback throw a good ball every time, and we're going to do that by relating to the receiver very well. Thirdly, attention to detail. There can never be too much detail in DB play, especially at corner when you're out there on that island. So we'll talk a little bit about the details. If you have any questions about the specifics of what I'm teaching or the coaching cues that I'm giving, please ask throughout the presentation. Fourth, we're going to finish. Like I said, we're often the smaller guy. We're the shorter guy against the receiver, but we're going to know how to finish. Okay, and if you finish appropriately and you finish strong, we can still win the route. Okay, it's never a catch until that ref blows the whistle. All right, so even if the ball's in the receiver's hands, we're going to finish and we're going to get that ball out. And lastly, receivers will make plays. That's part of what they do. That's their job. They get paid to do that. Okay, so we got to respond when they make plays. We got to bounce back. Details we pay attention to. Body language, that's going to be big. We'll talk about that. The split and the release. Okay, we tried to be a divider-based team, or at least at corner. We tried to use the divider leverage and talk about that with our guys. We want to talk about either a speed or a foot fire release. Those are kind of the two families of releases you're going to get from receivers. And then in addition to that, we want to talk about, is it foot fire inside, foot fire outside, speed inside, speed outside. Okay, and you can kind of game plan receivers based on that. If this kid, number 6 foot fire releases and inside, what kind of route he's going to get, et cetera. Down a distance, we're close to the sticks. We should be able to see that. Hand signals, if we can catch them. Tendencies and self-scout, and that's probably talk for another day. We're a big press team. I'm a big press guy, and this is why. Okay, number one, I think it's disruptive. I think it makes the offense check some routes that they don't like against press. Messes with the timing of routes, messes with the reads of the quarterbacks, takes away quick game, or should deter it at least, and then it creates a mindset. If you can create some ownership on that island out there when you're in press coverage and build that confidence up, that's huge at the DB position. And I think press can also be multiple. You can play press man, you can press bail, you can creep off, you can stem off, you can stem from off to press. There's a lot of different techniques you can do, and I think when you utilize all of those things effectively and efficiently, I think you can be really good at it. How we start, our stance, to me, I want to give my guys about 1.5 yards to 2 yards off. Okay, I do not want to be right up in your grill, and that's for a couple of reasons. We're going to adjust the stance accordingly. Okay, so I want you to be comfortable. I'm not going to overcoach the bend in your hip, the bend in your knees, or the position of your feet. But if there's something that's causing you to be bad in that stance with the release, I'm going to fix that. Eyes, we're going to always key our eyes first. We want to see the near hip, our leverage hip, whatever that is, the belly button or the belt, whatever coaching cue is going to get your guys' attention. I use all 3 of those, just depends on the guys that you have and what words they listen to. And then hips don't lie, okay? There's a lot of things that can be done to somebody's body, especially on a woman, but the hips do not lie. They're going to tell you where he's going, okay? Feet, we're going to motor, inch graze grass, okay? We don't do a ton of that, But we are going to relate to the receiver. We are going to relate to the divider, and we're going to relate to the coverage. How we build. Okay, the skills at the corner only matter relative to the route they're defending. Okay, and what I mean by that is you could have the prettiest back pedal in the country, but if you don't know how to relate to the receiver, then your pretty back pedal means nothing to me. Okay, and so we need to be able to relate to the receiver, and this is how we do it. Okay, we want to break routes down into 4 pieces. Number 1, the release. Is it foot fire? Is it a speed release? Is it inside? Is it outside? Stem, body language. The stem's kind of inside or outside, and then what's his body telling me he's about to do? Is he leaning to the left? All right, I know he's about to break right. Is he leaning to the right? Are his shoulders high? Are his shoulders low? Where are his eyes? The break, I think the break's probably the most instinctive part about playing corner. A lot of guys just kind of have that, okay? And we'll have things that make that better, but a lot of that is just being able to recognize body language, having great feet, and being a really instinctive football player. And then the finish. We're going to work a lot on the finish. And we'll have a ton of drills that have been really effective for me doing that. When we're teaching this stuff, I always go in this order. Eyes first. If your kids don't know what their key is or don't know what they're looking at, then what they're looking at in their body position doesn't mean a whole lot. Okay, so make sure that you know or you give them a decisive key of where they should be looking. Next is going to be their feet. Their eyes are going to move their feet. Okay, their feet are going to move according to their eyes. Hands are a great tool, but we don't want to prioritize them above either of those other 2. And then when in doubt, just run. Okay, if you're beat, we're just going to end up running, and we'll talk about that. Okay, a couple drills. Every drill that we do this is a mostly man drills here, but every drill that we do is going to show up on tape. If it doesn't show up on tape, I'm probably not going to do it. Okay, I'm not a big ladder guy. I'm not a big footwork can guy. No disrespect to any of those guys, but I want my drills to show up on tape. Okay, so a couple drills that we do every day. Snake, from a kick slide, slow to fast, relationship, a partner break series, and a partner ball flash. We're going to do those 6 every day, no matter what. Another part to that is we get out in pre-practice, okay? We have to have time to work those 6 things every day, and so we're going to make time if we don't have time. Another part that we do is during special teams when my corners aren't in, for example, field goal or PAT, we're stealing Indy time there. Okay, so make sure that if you have the ability to steal that extra Indy time and focus on the things that are going to make your guys better players, things that are going to show up in the game, show up on tape. Okay, first talking about the release, slow to fast. We don't play a lot of off coverage, but when we play quarters or 3 and want to give a different look and relate to the receiver, then we'll do this. Okay, slow to fast. It's exactly how it stands. We're going to start with our eyes one way or the other. We're going to see the quarterback, see quick game. Okay, if it's not quick game, we're going to speed our pedal up and get our eyes back to the receiver. Okay, so you can see here, this kid's eyes over here. He's looking dead at the quarterback. You can't see his helmet. He's looking at the quarterback. Okay, his helmet pointed that way to the quarterback. We're going to see quick game. Okay, we are going to see quick game, slow, little walk out, slow pedal. Then I'll say fast. You can see their eyes flip to their receiver, whoever it is. Okay, pretty good picture here. Eyes in the quarterback. So this would be eyes to the right. Okay, they're right. They are all seeing the quarterback. They're slow pedal, and then we speed it up, flip our eyes to the receiver. Again, this is a pre-practice first part of the day drill. I'm not over-coaching the pedal. I'm not over-coaching the technique per se, but I am making sure that they know what they're keying and getting their eyes to work appropriately. Okay, what it looks like in one-on-ones, you can see his eyes kind of flip. There, he's looking at the quarterback. He slow pedals, sees it. Okay, we see the receiver break. Now, one landmark that I like to use, and I don't tell my kids this a whole lot because I think it gets in their head too much, but then when the receiver's at 10, we ideally want to be at 13 to 14 yards if we're playing off, and that's just to relate to the receiver. Remember, we're only playing this if we're in zone coverage or some kind of off man where we're going to give up the underneath. Okay, or go make a play on the underneath. Okay, so you can see here we make the receiver drive back. We're making contact at about 7. Okay, and then we're fighting for that ball there. Okay, but slow to fast, eyes on the quarterback, pedals, brakes. Okay, receiver comes back 5 yards, makes a play. We'll live with that. Okay, early in the year, same idea. Eyes on the quarterback. We're going to flip back, undercut it. Okay, he's a fast kid, so he's going to go make that play. Same idea in the game. It's 3rd and 11. We're looking at the quarterback. We're playing off, making sure it's not quick game, go over. Good ball by the quarterback with great PBU there. Punt. Okay, the second one is snake. This is a press alignment release drill. Okay, press alignment release drill. Again, pre-practice, at the beginning of practice. Low eyes, stay square to his hip, and hips don't lie. Okay, some people call this a basketball shuffle. I call it a kick slide. Okay, we're just going to kick slide. What I mean by that is our feet are never going to cross. My eyes are low. At the beginning of the year, we're going to do it with no hands. All we're going to do is key our eyes and stay square to his hip, wherever that is. How it looks in one-on-ones. Okay, you can see here, pretty good eyes at the beginning of the route. His eyes are low, feet don't cross, hips are open, hips are perpendicular to his hips, to his belt, wherever that is, wherever that key is for you. Okay, he comes back inside. We go make a good play on the ball. In the game, you can see we're about 2 yards inside of this guy. Okay, we know that he's way outside the divider here, so we want to be inside leverage. A little too far off for me, but situation tells him to give a little bit. So we're going to push our hips, keep them square to him, create contact because he tries to cross the divider. Another good PBU. Snake in space, this is just a way to add something for your kids. Add a little space, put a little pressure on them. Beginning of the year type drill. Beginning of the year type drill. Okay, we want to make sure that he never crosses his feet. He's given a little bit of ground. He's making that receiver declare his release. If we can make these receivers declare their release, that's going to tell us a lot about what's going to happen. Okay, the longer the receiver spins underneath us, the longer the quarterback has to wait to throw him the ball, which is typically a good thing for the defense. Okay, moving into the stem and the body body language part of the route. Okay, it's called relationship drill. There's 2 whistles. It starts the exact same as slow to fast. On the second whistle, the receiver's going to release. The DB's going to flip his eyes back just like he did before. Okay, and we'll relate to the route. Let's start this over. Okay, so first whistle, start just like slow to fast. Eyes are to the quarterback. Second whistle, pedal speeds up, eyes flip here, receiver releases. Okay, and this is kind of where you got to know your kids. Okay, this kid over here is not a fast kid. He's not super fast, so he wants to stay over the top as long as he can and play it like that. These 2 kids are faster kids, so they want to get physical. They want to get in your stuff and make you run by them, which probably isn't going to happen for them. Okay, so you got to know your kids in these kind of drills, and you can't coach them all the same. You got to coach them to their skills, especially in high school. If you got an odd number of guys, just put them on either side of the receiver, have them both open up to the middle there.
Got a question here for you, Coach.
Go ahead.
If the corner is reading the 3-step, they are losing the release part of the route. What's the easiest way to recover for the corner? I said on the first clip, the DB lost his leverage. How do they get it back?
Like I said, we're divider based, right? So we're going to line up according to the divider. If the receiver crosses the divider, then our camp rule is to get hands on, to get physical. Okay. Again, if he's underneath, right? If he's underneath us in zone coverage, quarters, or off man, something like that, that's just what we're prepared to give up. And we're going to have an underneath coverage guy, hopefully, to help that route. To me, leverage is relative to what you're expecting to get, right? So if we're inside leverage at the beginning of the route and the receiver releases and crosses the divider to get back inside, I think he's either buying himself grass to come back outside, or he just puts the corner in position, because if the receiver lined up inside the divider, we would be outside leverage anyways. So we're going to stay relative to the divider there and go drive our route, especially in off coverage where hopefully we have some underneath help if our guys get to their spot. How relationship looks in one-on-one, again, okay, receiver, corner looking at the quarterback. He knows it's not 3-step. All we're doing, again, is relating to the receiver. We want to relate to the receiver, make the quarterback make a tough throw. Okay. This kid's about 5'7". He's about 5'10". Okay. 3 inches, but the quarterback has to make a perfect ball as long as we create a tight window. Okay. If we create a tight window, we have a chance. Okay. Same idea here. See the quarterback. See quick game. See quick game. Don't be a non-factor in quick game. Here, we try to get a little stand. We can see the receiver's leaning a little bit. We know he's about to come out. We jump him to the out. We get good hands on, make the quarterback run the ball. Relationship with a twist, okay? This is kind of when your kids start getting comfortable in this stuff, we're going to add a little adversity to it. This is not a drill I spend a lot of time doing. It's not something we're going to do every day. It's not something we're going to do every week, okay? It's just something to add a little adversity and hopefully kind of spice Indy back up a little bit when you get those dull moments, okay? And everybody has them. Just kind of have a plan. This was part of my plan to spice up a little dull Indy or a rainy day or something like that to get my kids going. So they're going to start the same exact way. Eyes on the quarterback, slow, fast. When I say fast, you're going to spin, create yourself a bad position, hopefully get back into that relationship with the receiver that we want. Okay, kid does a good job here.
Question here, Coach.
Yep.
Do you want to see quick game versus a real wide receiver or just cover him?
Versus real wide receiver or a what?
Or just cover him?
Man, I don't care what you throw. We're going to cover you no matter what. Hopefully that answers your question. Sorry if that came off in the wrong tone. From a kick slide, this is a transitionary drill. This is one of the most important pieces that I've picked up, the drill that we're going to make sure we do every day, sometimes more than once a day. So this is basically saying, I was pressed. I've made you declare your release. Now I need to transition from my kick slide to the route. I need to transition from my kick slide to the relationship that I want to have with you. Okay, and this is how we're going to do it, especially in press. Okay, and this could be a couple different things. Quarterback could be here. Receiver could be here, and we release outside. That could happen. Or quarterback could be here. Receiver could still be here, and he releases inside. Okay, so I'm not saying quarterbacks to the left, quarterbacks to the right. Now all I'm saying is I need you to relate to the receiver on whatever release he gives you. Okay, and if you're a heavy inside leverage team, that's fine. You can absolutely do that. The quarterbacks that we play, if we lined up inside leverage all day, we would get out routes and comebacks thrown on us all game. And so we have to be a little more respectful to the divider and kind of play it like that and pick up tendencies through game plan and film. Okay, so what we're going to get here is the corners are going to be in a kick slide position. They've kick slide. The receiver has declared their release one way or the other. Now we're transitioning. Eyes are low, hands on the near shoulder, right inside the shoulder pit there, the armpit. Okay, eyes are low. And again, you gotta have a respect for the different kind of kids that you have. Again, this is not a super fast kid. He knows he's not super fast, so he's gonna try and cut off to make sure he's in good position. Okay, I'm good with that. This kid is a fast kid. He's going to make sure that he stays on top as long as he can because he knows that when you run, he's going to run with you. Same thing with this guy, okay? So as we go, we want to stay square. We want to get at least one kick slide shuffle in as the receiver declares his release. Now we're going to relate. Okay, we can see here we get a couple good shuffles here, shuffle, kick slide. Now the receiver declares, and we go from there. Okay, eventually, and I apologize, I didn't get this on film. What you want to do is you want to be standing here as the coach, and after you get a vertical, right, so you're going to give them a vertical. Now you're going to tell the receiver to release 3 steps outside and cut back and run a slant, okay, and make them play chest to chest and drive through that route. After that, you're going to tell them to release 3 steps outside and then expand, okay, and how to create a good relationship with that. I apologize I didn't get that on film, but that's kind of the progression, and you can kind of game plan that depending on the routes that you're going to see. How it applies to one-on-one. So we get a good match. We're going to match the first step. That's great. Here, we're in a kick slide. Receiver's declaring outside. we reset our feet because the receiver dips a little bit. We think he's going to break. His body language is telling us that he's going to break. He stutters. We get into our kick slide. Now we transition again. Okay, we're in a great spot. Receiver makes a hell of a catch. If you're a college coach on this talk, you need to recruit number 12, Hayden Callahan. He's a rising senior. He's 6'4". He's legit. He's a really good player. You can see how it translates. Okay, we're going to kick slide, and now we got back into a kick slide. It looked like he was going to break, and we transition. Now we get into our good spot. Receiver makes a hell of a catch. Okay, but we want to be able to practice the transition. A lot of guys, they just get into a press and immediately get into a trail. Or they get into a press and they immediately get over the top. They don't know how to transition from that press alignment to their kick slide to the actual route. And so we're going to practice that as best we can. Okay, same idea here. Some guys in the past have asked if I inch back. The only time that I'm ever going to tell my guys to inch back because I line them 2 yards off, that's kind of the point to take that away, is when the receiver foot fires straight at me and I don't think I can win physically. Okay, so he foot fires straight at me. I'm going to inch back just a little bit before I get into my kick slide. Now I'm going to kick slide and go. Okay, make the quarterback make a perfect throw. Okay, here the quarterback has to make a perfect throw for them to complete that ball.
Couple questions here, Coach.
Yep.
First one is, do you teach your players to work to the wrist going downfield?
So a little bit about Marshall. When I first got there in July, our kids had a really tough problem looking at the football. That's all they would do is look at the football, right? And so with that being said, I kind of went polar opposite of that and took that option away. So we will look at hand flashes, but we did not actively practice hand fighting as the route is going on. We played a lot of fast kids, a lot of fast receivers this year, and it wasn't the payoff didn't have it wasn't worth the risk, in my opinion.
The other question here, Coach, is when did they decide to go make a play on the ball?
We're going to get to that. That's kind of the partner ball flash series. Again, like I said, our kids had a tough time looking at the ball and not being in position. And so we didn't have a lot of interceptions this year, but we had a lot of PBUs. Okay, and that's just kind of the trade-off that you have to decide which one is more important. Right? If you risk going for the interception, sometimes you're going to give up balls that you misjudge or you're out of position because you're looking. The other side of that, which is the side I chose, is we're going to have a lot of PBUs. We're going to be in a great relationship, and we're going to make the quarterback make a tough throw. If that means we give up a couple interceptions, then we give up a couple interceptions. And we'll get to that in a little bit.
Okay. And there was just one more, Coach, there in regards to the red zone clip, and then I'll let you continue on that clip. Would you have preferred that the corner turned to the wide receiver on the fade to look for the ball?
Let me go back and look right here.
Yes, sir.
Oops. I think right here he knows he's in a dominant position. He does open his chest. He does man turn to the outside release. But at this point, it's a fight for the ball. He heard a ball call. I don't remember that play exactly. The ball's in the air. That's the only thing that matters at that point, especially in the red zone. If you have a handsy kid, you can take the hands away. Okay, and again, hopefully we do a good enough job at lining up at 2 yards to give ourselves some room so we can kick slide relative to the release. Okay, so let's just take our hands away for the first 5 yards. Does a good job of timing that. Okay, and then get into your position. Okay, he's in a dominant position here. Go ahead and look for the ball, see what you can do. Okay, but if you have a handsy kid, the best outlet I've used for that is just to take his hands away. Don't let him use his hands in practice. Okay, eventually down here, you're going to have to do it, but make the quarterback make a tough throw, make the receiver make a tough catch. Okay, really tough catch, really tough throw. As long as we're in a good position and create tight windows, we're going to be okay. Okay, breaks. We do this drill every day. Partner breaks, pre-practice, post-practice, during practice, special teams. It doesn't matter. We're going to do this every day. Okay. Like I said, we're going to give up looking for the ball so we can look at the receiver's hips and the receiver's hands. Okay, receivers on the far parties on the sideline here. If you have an odd number of guys, go ahead and put the receiver in the middle and 2 DBs on either side. Okay, but he breaks, I break. That's all this key is. The point of this was to, number one, get our guys to stop looking at the ball so they would stay in position. And number two, recognize how important the receiver's body language is. Okay, here, a little one-on-one clip. He's a little tight, but he knows that he's faster than this guy, so we're okay. And you can see these drills all translate to this clip right here. Drill number one, snake. We get a kick slide. His eyes are low. His hips are open to the receiver. Second drill, from a kick slide. Now we have to transition. Receiver's shoulder is down. What does that mean? It means he's going vertical. Okay, so I don't need to work over the top of him. Essentially, I can just get to his hip right now and go play the route, especially if I know I'm faster than him. Okay, and then partner break drill right here. This is the same drill. It's the drill. Receiver's on the outside. I'm on the inside. When he breaks, I'm going to break. Got to be a little careful here with the hand. He breaks, I break. Quarterback has to make an absolutely perfect throw, maybe right there to have a completable ball. That's exactly what we want. Body language series. I'm going super slow in this video compared to what I would regularly do. Okay, and notice these 4 kids are going to get 5 reps in 40 seconds. On the partner break series, half of your kids got 3 reps in 12 seconds. Okay, so I've had a lot of questions about, Coach, how do you get all this stuff done in practice? Well, if we go back to this, it takes 12 seconds and half of these kids got 3 reps. So if you double that to get the other half reps, now it's 24 seconds. Then you could go twice through in less than a minute. Okay, and that's been a big piece of trying to time your indie, making the most out of your practice, because I know every position coach out there is struggling for individual time. Okay, so here, one way that we clean up breaks is I'm going to film how they break. I'm going to film how they break an individual, okay, and then see how it translates to practice or a game. Okay, so I'm just going to tell them right foot. We're going to slow pedal. We're going to break off our right foot. Okay, you can pause it right here and see this kid right here. Here's his plant foot. There's his drive foot. Okay, pretty good break. I know that I don't have to overcoach him on where he's breaking this week. He's looking good. Okay, you can look at other kids and see that they're not so good. Now it's left foot. Break. Okay, I'm a T-step guy, but I just want you to break on the ball. In the game, if you bicycle instead of T-step, I'm not pulling you out. Does that make sense? So believe in what you believe in, right? But eventually the players are got to be the ones that make the plays. Okay, so we're going to go right foot, left foot. Then we're going to go 45. Speed this up. Then we're going to go 45 the other way. Now we're going to go double move. Break, break. Next. 40 seconds. 4 guys got 5 reps. If you got 8 players, you can get all those guys 5 reps in a minute and a half. This clip is to show this. This was our best corner. He had never really played off coverage before in his whole life. Okay, he wasn't very good at press at the beginning of the year either, but he didn't know what he was looking at. Okay, watch how bad his break's kind of ugly here. Okay, so again, we're gonna see quick game, break, plant, drive. His drive is behind him, right? Okay, now we have this receiver's really good. He signed to TCU. I'd be afraid of him too, but not a very good break. Okay, later in the year, week 5, how this drill translates is now he's flying out of that break. Okay, and we're going to tackle this kid who signed to Colorado for a game or two. Okay, so that was one of the drills I spend a lot of time on. I just call it body language drill. Okay, this is a way, again, to spice something up a little bit in practice. You're going to get a ton of guys, a ton of reps in a short period of time. Just working off coverage body language reads. Wherever they break, I'm going to break. I'm going to drive on that ball. Okay, this is a lot of slant work because that's what you can expect when you're playing off. One big thing for me is if you're playing off, play off. Don't practice off from a press alignment. That doesn't make any sense to me. Okay, and you can see here, 30 seconds, we get half our guys 3 reps from off coverage driving on a slant. Okay, so you double that, right? You get the rest of your guys a minute and everybody gets 3 reps. Okay, again, always have some questions about how they cross our face or we give up our leverage, and I understand where that comes from. However, way outside the divider, we're inside. You can see that we start on the bottom of the numbers. We're going to finish at the top of the numbers. So we are going to weave to him a little bit, but we're not at all costs going to stay inside of that guy just because of the routes that we can expect. He stems, we're going to weave, okay? As long as we're in position, we're still going to have a play on the ball, okay? And we're only really off when we're playing either a match quarters concept or maybe a little bit off man, maybe with a rat or whatever. Okay, so hopefully we have a little bit of underneath help. But again, off coverage, that's what you can expect to give up. That's what you can expect to give. If you have a great break, then hopefully you don't give up anything. Comeback. We got a lot of comebacks from how much press that we ran, so we drilled comebacks. Okay, same idea as partner breaks. Same idea. Receivers on the sideline. He breaks, I break. I'm going to get to his hip, practice comeback and go, practice a second comeback, rep on the next one. Okay, it's the same clip. How it translates to the game. Okay, we're going to kick slide. We're going to get a hand on from a kick slide. He breaks, I break. Okay, really good position. Again, fellas, this kid legitimately is not one of our faster guys. He's like a 12,500 guy. But if you can teach him to read body language, you're going to be okay. He's going to be in a spot. He's going to make that quarterback make a tough throw. Throw by, this is kind of a sloppy drill. It's never as good as you want it to look. Okay, but basically what I'm teaching my guys is if he reaches his hand around the back of your back, okay, we want to go chest to chest, and we're just going to play the route after that. Okay, so game plan, we're going to work throw by slant. We're going to work throw by curl. We're going to work throw by back shoulder. Okay, we're going to work all that stuff per game plan, but this is just kind of a generic look at it. Okay, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time on that. And then the finish. The finish is the most important part. Okay, how we're going to finish. Partner ball flashes. So, yes, if you're a lock, lean, and look guy, I think that's awesome. I think if you can go get balls, that's fantastic. For me, that wasn't something that I was willing to risk given the pattern of the kids that I had at the beginning of the year. And so what I chose to do instead was this. Same idea as partner breaks. Same idea as partner breaks. Can you still see my screen? Same idea as partner breaks, okay, but now we're going to work ball flashes. Okay, so all I'm keying is this receiver's hands. His hands go up, I hit him. He cannot catch the ball if he catches my hands. So I try to get one high, one low, one out in front. Sometimes you can work a back shoulder. Again, you see we're at a walking pace. This is pre-practice. We're not overcoaching this. We are not overcoaching this. We're just making sure our eyes are in the right spot. Okay, again, all your guys, every single kid got 3 reps. It took 30 seconds. Just getting our eyes primed up, making sure they're on the right key, making sure they're looking at the right thing. Whack-a-mole is one I put on Twitter that some people like. We're going to face each other. At the beginning of the year, I did this without a ball. So I would just stand here and I would point, and the receiver would flash their hands either to the left, to the right, or straight up or whatever. And the DB is just going to play his hands. Okay, so an effective way to play the football, play his hands, get PBUs without looking at the football. Okay, and you can see it gets a little competitive. The kids like this one. Okay, we're throwing it over his head. We're just going to break hands up. We're going to break hands up. Wherever the hands go, we're going to go. If we can get our hands on the football, we're going to throw it on the ground or we're going to bring it to our body, whatever is easiest. Okay, his hands are going to take me to the football. Got to get kids to trust that. Once your kids can trust that, you're usually going to be in a pretty good spot. Got some young guys here. How it applies. Okay, this is a real life practice rep here. Okay, we got a corner on offense playing receiver, got a corner in trail, right? Because that guy's pretty fast. Ball goes up. Don't look for the ball one time. We don't look for the ball at all. Hands go up, we punch it out. Really good. Okay, huge play. That's just how it's going to translate. A little bit of the goal line stuff. Okay, again, we're not looking for balls. We're just looking for hands flashing. This one's a little different. Sorry if it's kind of choppy. We're not looking for the ball. We're just looking for his hands flashing. Okay, these are all PBUs, by the way. Okay, this kid's 6'5", goes up and gets it. Great catch. We punch it out. PBU. Again, 6'4" kid. We're 5'9" at corner right here. Get into a spot, peaks a little bit, hands go up, we go play it, ball comes out. Okay, just a way to get PBUs without looking for the football. Making sure that your guys are in good position and they stay in good position without looking for the ball. Okay, we're in a dominant position here. Quarterback throws a great ball right over our head. Kid catches it. Okay, but we see the hands go up. We go rip it out. Incomplete. Okay, big stop on third down there. Okay, break it up. A lot of different phases to this. I can't go through all of them. Okay, in phase, out of phase, aka your beat. That's the one we practice the most. One of those just in case ones. High ball or moss ball, whatever, and then back shoulder. If you got a guy that can throw it or you can throw it, go ahead and practice that back shoulder just in case you got it. Okay, again, at the beginning of the year, I'm not using a ball. Like for the first 3 weeks, we're not using a ball in any of these drills. All we're having guys do is catch up, flash your hands, and we go break that up. Whoops. Okay, so we're not looking for the ball at corner. We're just running. We are going to catch that guy's hip. Ball comes, we play. Go do the best we can on whatever ball we got. Okay, I usually line them up 2 yards ahead. Again, not looking for the football. That's a bad ball by me. Football start. Not looking for the football. Just go play it. Obviously, anyone would rather take a PI than a touchdown. Okay, how it transitions. We punch the wrong hand. Hips are open the wrong way. Eyes are bad. Okay, we're beat. Go catch him. Once you catch him, now we can look. Hands go up. We go play the football. Get a PBU. Should have been a touchdown. Instead, 2nd and 10. Okay, game rep. I'm going to get a little tighter. This kid had been getting beat. Okay, he probably gave up 2-3 catches this game. Mentally, he's in a tough spot. Receiver does a good little stutter release right here. Okay, DB falls asleep. Okay, we fall asleep. Beat inside. Do not look for the football. He's looking straight at his hands. His hands come. We rip it out. Incomplete. That guy got overruled. This guy comes in down here and tells us that it's incomplete. Very good. Okay, and then obviously you're just going to work in phase, ball drills. I don't want to teach looking for the ball until I get really, really comfortable with my guys in their position. This was our first year with these guys, so I wanted to make sure I overemphasized the right stuff first. Okay, this is kind of just a high ball indie, throw it above their head, have them go make a play. Going to be in a tough spot sometimes at DB. This is a quick phase. Okay, this is just a way to save guys' legs if you're having a long practice or had a heavy lift the day before or whatever. Just a way to still get in position, still play the ball, but not use a ton of energy. Okay, and this is just kind of press progression. Okay, so later in the year, we'd be divider alignment. This guy's really a slot receiver. He's kind of in between here. Low eyes. Don't get distracted by things that aren't real. Okay, we're going to kick slide. This is a snake drill right here. Eyes are low. Hips are open to the receiver. If he releases 45, we're going to kick slide 45. From a kick slide drill. Great overall position. We're on top. Receiver's declaring he's vertical. His shoulder is down. His shoulder is not open. His chest is not open to us. We cannot see his open chest. We know he's going to go vertical. Okay, he breaks, I break. Partner break drill. Okay, and then here we can see that after he broke, his hands are down, right? So what does that mean? It means the ball is not coming right off his break. It means we have time to get ourselves in position and go play the football after that, as long as we're in position. The rest of this stuff is really some zone coverage stuff, and I can go through that stuff kind of one-on-one later on if you guys would like. But PBU-wise, so like I said, we gave up interception opportunities. We had 5 hit us in the chest. Probably could have had a lot more than we did. But the reason that we did that was to get this. San Diego State corners led the country in the NCAA PBUs per game, 2.46. They faced 35 passes a game. Okay, so 2.46, 5 by 34.5. They broke up 7.13% of the balls that all passes thrown in the game. Marshall Mavericks last year, we had 2.27 PBUs per game. We only got 26 passes a game. So that means that we broke up, out of every pass that we played, we broke up 8.7%. Okay, and that's a big deal to me. That's a big deal to our guys, and they take a lot of pride in that. No, we didn't have a lot of interceptions, but we broke up 9% of all passes that were thrown to us, and that was a big deal to our guys. And then let's connect. So I'm at Marshall High School currently. This is my Twitter, my phone number, both of my emails. If you want to reach out, connect. If you want to ask questions or you want that zone stuff, I'll share this presentation with you. If you hit me on Twitter and send me your email or your Gmail, I'll share it on Google Drive, and feel free to comb through it and have any questions that you like. But
Absolutely.
That's all I got.
If anybody else has some questions for Coach before we end the session, just drop it in the chat box there. I know he definitely – there was a couple of questions I think he ended up getting to, which was good. And, yeah, like you said, I mean, if you're interested in this stuff or the zone stuff, make sure you're reaching out to him. His contact information is there. So take advantage of it, especially during a time where, as coaches, we have a little more time on our hands now. We'll be playing catch-up at some point, so, you know, we won't have as much time later on. But question just came in, Coach. What do you tell your DBs when the wide receiver's hands go up early and they're coming out of phase?
I teach them to go tackle him. If we're out of phase, you better go tackle that guy.
There you go. Anybody else? Any other questions for Coach? Well, Coach, I appreciate you jumping on, man. I'm giving a great presentation. Another one just came in. Do you teach any catch technique?
We'll teach a little bit of it, like in some cover 2 stuff. You know, if you're getting a mandatory outside release or things like that. When I was coaching all 5 DBs and I had the safeties, I coached more catch technique, and we can talk about that, Coach, if you want. Shoot me a message on Twitter, and I'll see if I have some old film or some old stuff I can send you.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, Coach, once again, man, thank you for jumping on this afternoon. I appreciate all the coaches for tuning in. Great presentation. Once again, just reiterate the fact that, you know, if Coach is willing to give out his contact information, man, use it, especially during this time, man. We have some time to collaborate and bounce ideas off each other and talk ball. You know, he didn't just put it up as a slide, man. Take advantage of, you know, another great coach in the country, man, to learn from, and then continue pushing forward, man, and progressing. That's what it's about. So, Coach, thank you, man. Appreciate your time, for real.
Appreciate you. Thank you, man.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. And coaches, thank you so much for checking in, man. We're back at it at 3 o'clock. Once again, if anybody has any questions, you got his contact information there. If you got questions for me, you know where to find me at.